who are born to do certain things. Well, most people don't actually get to do what they're born naturally good at. They're doing something else as a living, you know. But they were born to fight. Like, they were born to hurt people, right? You know, and actually getting hurt was a sexual stimulant for them. You know, like some people would look at a dirty book, they would look at a cut over someone's eye and, yeah, and I mean, of course, there's the three famous fights of Roy Shaw and Lenny McLean. Now, they're how memorable do you need to be? You know, if you've ever watched them, I think that the one where Lenny's giving it to Roy, I think the actual amount of fully loaded right-handers he threw into his face is something like 34 shots, like bang, bang, bang. 34 shots off Lenny McLean. I had one and retired me from boxing, right? Roy Shaw stood there and had 35 of them in the face before he went down. That's a raving lunatic, it's a nutcase. You know, I mean, Lenny McLean could knock a house down if he kept punching it 30 odd times. And Roy Shaw won the first fight. Lenny McLean won the next two. And of course it was illegal then, because people that were going to it, if you injured somebody else, or you put somebody else into a coma, or you killed someone, you got done for murder. Right? The fact that people paid to watch you go and do it actually played against you. It didn't help in court, oh, it was a boxing match. It is illegal. Or it's an illegal venue, you're not allowed to be taking money there, you're not allowed to be selling drink there. The Roy Shaw and Lenny McLean fights actually brought the whole of unlicensed boxing into the public eye. Right? They were individual stars anyway, in the criminal fraternity. Right? They were, you know, for their own individual reasons, you know, they were stars anyway. So for them two to actually end up having combat with each other, that was, you know, as entertaining as Rooney and Beckham having a one against one. You know, it was something to watch, and they all had their own following. You know, hundreds of people, thousands of people were a large group of people that followed them. And then Joey Parr, who was a very, very intelligent man, instead of keeping it like a cowboy run organisation, put some manners around the whole thing, right? You know, started hiring a proper venue, getting in a proper security company, trying to see if he could boost the publicity around something, because most of these fights had to happen low-key, undercover, and no one could, so you couldn't advertise, you couldn't put a poster up or a flyer or see if you can sell some more tickets. It was all done through word of mouth and down the boozer. Well, Joey Parr wanted to spice it up, you know, he wanted to put some publicity around it and earn some proper money, like winner take all, 10 grand and things like that. Well, I don't know if you're aware, but professional fighters can go home with 200 and 300 quid. You know what I mean? That's all they get. 400, 500, 600 quid or something, and he can't have another fight for 7 weeks. Works out at £75 a week to be a professional boxer. You understand what I mean? Well, if you get one of these like Lenny McLean fights and Roy Shaw, that conjured up the imagination, winner take all, it was two men, you know, they didn't even want a round, they didn't want a bell, it was just going to keep throwing punches in each other's face until one of you fell over. That is sex, isn't it? It's sex, and their fights were notorious for two different styles of fighting, right? You know, it was two different sizes. Yeah, Lenny McLean being 6'6" and 23 stone, and Roy Shaw being 5 foot, you know, a foot and a half bigger. You know, it was a match made in heaven if you were a fight fan. Right? In all honesty, Lenny McLean and Roy Shaw got the major bit of publicity. They brought the whole fight game into the forefront with publicity. They then put on some smaller gloves, which was sort of half complying with the boxing board, but the boxing board were going, well, we don't have nothing to do with it, nothing to do with us. But because Joe was thinking big with this, he had the doctors in, he had timekeepers, he had a proper referee, the gloves were a lot smaller so they could do a little bit more damage, and they only had like, you know, there weren't a number of rounds. It was, you kept going until someone got knocked out, which kept it a little bit on the exciting stuff, you know. And because they were both London boys and all the newspapers were in Fleet Street, Lenny McLean and Roy Shaw got all the major publicity at the time. But if you don't win, you go home with all. Right? Well, nowadays you're getting 2.5 million, win, lose or draw, so halfway through the third round you go, oh, I broke my toe. I'm like, fucking shut up! I broke my toe! You know what I mean? Right? I mean, I've seen Lenny McLean actually have to do the boxing one night, then go on to work at the Hippodrome, where they was fighting 3 or 4 fights a night, 5 nights a week. It was football violence was out, you know what I mean? And fighting was, it was a different era out there, you know, fights are kicking off all the time. Like, you looking at my pint, like nowadays you're all on a pill that are going, oh, I'm sorry first. Oh no, I was sorry before you were sorry, man. I love you and all. You know, it's a different game, you know. These were individual stars. The Hippodrome had 4 doormen, 2,000 people. So there was 2 doormen outside on the front, 1 doorman inside upstairs with his 1,000, and 1 doorman inside downstairs with his 1,000. No fucking walkie-talkies, no cinema, no CCTV camera. Trouble at fire exit number 3 needs some assistance. There's none of that bollocks. If you fucking was in trouble, you went, help me! And hoped that in your little flurry of trying to beat up 35 ICF blokes that had their knives out on the counter chopping up Charlie while the barman was trying to pour a drink out, and you got to go over and tell all 35 of them get out. Well, it weren't happening, was it? You know, so friendships were made and associations formed with people that you were tight. He saved your life and that. But Lenny McLean had the boxing, man. Knocked the geezer out, had to go to work, had 5 fights on the at the Hippodrome, and then go out for the booze, and then on Sunday morning have another fight. Another fight that someone's got an argue. $3,000 I drive.
Breaking news. The English ex-gangster turned author and celebrity David John Courtney, widely known as Dave Courtney, has tragically passed away. His sudden dismiss has set shockwaves through the community, leaving many in a state of profound disbelief and sorrow. In a tragic turn of events, Dave Courtney has taken his own life following a mental health struggle. The unexpected and heart-wrenching nature of his decision has left the community in a state of confusion and profound grief. Many are finding it challenging to understand the motivations behind this devastating incident. Our sympathies and heartfelt support are extended to his beloved family, especially his elderly mother, for whom Dave held a central place in her life, as well as his daughter, Courtney. This loss is a deeply saddening and impactful tragedy for those who are acquainted with him. May his soul rest in eternal peace.